It's a divided country. Do y'all see the division? We can't even sit out here and talk civilly. We're killing each other in these streets. So divided. So divided. Also, Blockbuster. Fuck the red box. We need to get back on the Blockbuster. I'm calling out right now for Holes 2. We need even Stevens 2. And then we're gonna dance. Give me a minute. Hold on. He will not divide us. He ain't never gonna divide nothing.
Like hardcore, like.
She had like a Trump shirt.
Yeah, she like wore like a Trump shirt, like on the
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, y'all got those guys' number? Please keep trolling them till they die. I mean, please. That was, I mean, prank call it every day for the rest of your lives. It's just delicious. Just delicious.
Do you have their number?
No, I don't.
I was watching just before I left, just 10 minutes ago or so. Were they causing trouble or?
No, that's why I was standing right here. I'm not gonna let no fool act a fool out here. This is my town. They gotta go through me, and ain't no one gonna act a fool out here as long as I'm standing about. So that's why I'm standing.
I came
right
by there asking, do you support Trump?
I just looked at him. I don't give a fuck.
That's that guy. Do you support Trump? Get him.
Well, that's why I'm here to deter all that type of behavior. Because you leftists can't beat people up because they don't agree with you. Gosh.
What's happening?
I just find the political left so radical that even like sympathizing with Trump makes you some kind of like Nazi person that needs to be beat up and killed and all.
You're a fascist, but they want to beat you up.
Yeah, which is like, that's cultural Marxism, which is the ironic part. So I look at the whole situation being libertarian myself and completely just laugh at the whinging of the left. I mean, grown people crying, screaming, out here hitting a fucking pinata. I mean, I couldn't make this up. That's why I'm standing right here. I don't need to watch cable. I had a day off. I could sit here and watch people cry in front of this camera all day long. It's brilliant. Until people stop whining about this is what's going to happen. I didn't like Obama. Here we are. I told everybody in 9th grade Obama wasn't worth 2 dimes. We still here, doing the same damn thing. You know? So,
yeah, and the people that were against Obama, they didn't go out trashing neighborhoods and causing violence and shit that I heard of. I don't remember that. It's just, so they're not fair. You know, he's president. He's not gonna just step down.
Well, we know what needs to
They
happen.
want
It's because they put us on a platform where we don't talk. You know?
Yeah.
Because we're always arguing with each other.
Yeah, we're not looking at the brass tacks of the situation, right? I don't want to be blown up. I want to eat food regularly, right? You know, electricity's nice. I mean, as long as that shit's upheld, who gives a fuck who's on the chair? They eat out of the same hand. And, you know, you think Trump and Hillary aren't getting paid by the same exact people? It's crazy to believe anything different. It really is. It's too easy for someone to go, here's $50 billion, Trump. Oh, I'll do it. He's going to do what he's told to do. Just like Hillary was going to do what she was told to do. Just like Obama did what he was told to do. You know, those are the real brass tacks issues. It's not he isn't dividing us. We're dividing ourselves. And then pointing the finger at a figure that doesn't really exist. The guy was on The Apprentice. Fucking TV show.
I think he's like a metaphor for a specific type of people, though. Like, though he, like, it's not him specifically. Like, it's still, like,
Well, there's
he
nothing
represents
wrong.
a group of people that not everyone agrees with.
And that's okay.
Kind of like the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm 22 and I have very similar ideals myself. I don't believe people should just flop over a fucking border and get paid. That's crap, right? But I'm not gonna cut your throat about it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even call you a fool. I'll just be like, you have your, you know, that's what that's what America's about. The freedom of speech, the right to represent yourself, to represent yourself in the press. Killing each other. This is a joke to me. This is a gigantic, like, middle finger to the Constitution and what we stand for as Americans. I know one thing, my kin didn't go through slavery and the Revolutionary War, so we can argue amongst each other about petty things that don't even matter.
But I don't think it's necessarily like everything he's representing is petty. Like, I think he's even like attacking like what you would think is like your people.
Well, how do you, what puts you off on Trump? Please,
I just don't think that he represents what I want in a democracy, and I don't think that he's respectful of women, and I just don't think that he is like educated enough to be a political leader that represents a country that's like a first world nation that has so much influence over the rest of the world because of like the amount of money and the amount of like power and control that it has.
Well, quite frankly, ma'am, on the point that Donald Trump doesn't respect women, to me is both laughable in comparison to Miss Clinton, who.
I'm not saying Clinton is any better.
No, but these were the choices represented to us here. This woman has been implicated in over 71 murders. Can I get implicated in a singular murder without going to jail? How about you, my friend? Can you? Because I guarantee we'll be sitting there eating soup out of a fucking can in 5 seconds. She blew up Benghazi. Skated on all of it. You know, and then before that, Obama was a junior senator. That's like,
But that's more experience than Trump.
that's, you know what, that is also debatable because running a Fortune 500 company in the billions of dollars is not equivalent. It's probably greater too, being a junior senator. You know, a lot of people don't remember this, but in the mid 90s, early 80s, well, would you say late 80s, early 90s, Trump was doing some of the most progressive architecture in the world at the time.
Right, but he wasn't the architect.
No, but he was clever enough to get the right architect to make things that had the rest of the world going.
He had enough money to pay the best architect.
That's what we need. That's my whole point. I'm broke as hell.
And you think Trump is gonna not make you less broke?
Yeah, I'm confident that's all the guy works on. Isn't it? I think most of the people who voted for him are voting for him on the basis that we need a financial revolution.
I agree that like
You know, we don't have social problems. You know, I'm a living example of why racism doesn't exist. I'm half black and half white. I've never known, you know what I mean? My mom's blonde. My dad's dark as Wesley Snipes.
And you've never been targeted for your
Not,
race?
but you know what? To be honest with you, no. And the few times I have, it's all been playful banter. I've never been beat up seriously because I was a colored person. To me, the idea is again almost laughable when most of my friends, like my friend Wicked, who is a hardcore West Side Cholo Vato banger, his kids are half black.
But do you think that you would have more opportunities, like education and like jobs, if you were white?
Statistically, to be honest with you, no. Because why? It's because, to be honest with you, black people aren't going through the motions to have proper education, to have proper finances. They'd rather do what? Because I lived in this community. They'd rather sell dope and be a fuckhead and walk around with their ass out.
You
Like,
think
cool.
you think people would rather like sell weed than like actually have a sit down job? Like, do you think that's a choice?
It's not really a choice. It's the one that a lot of people too. I see this in my everyday life. I'm not gonna lie, sit here and play with you. I'm not gonna play myself. I see people go, get a job or sell green. Sell green. I'm on some, and what do? They start slanging crystal. And that's why all these people are hopped up on shit. It's because most of these bastards our age are too lazy to do a fucking thing like start a business, get an education, or learn a skill. That is not anybody. That is not white people's fault. That is not Trump's fault. That is purely them. Personal decision. You, these folks, we all have decisions here. I've never been told, like in school, no one ever told me, General, you can't learn this type of math because you're part black.
But do you think that like the school you went to, like the neighborhood that you grew up in, had less money than like say a school in the Heights here? Because it does, like because the taxes, like all the taxes like literally go to like the white schools, and like kids who grew up in the ghetto don't have as much of an opportunity. Their students haven't as much money. They don't get as good of teachers because they're not paid. Like that's a missed opportunity for those
That sounds
students.
to me like a parental problem. It sounds like to me parents who have children need to elevate their political status, their financial status, to be able to put their kids in proper school. They can't do that. It's not your fault, my fault, their fault, anybody's fault that these people aren't doing what's necessary to keep their family tight. It's not my fault. I was born right off of Virginia in the war zone. I'm not a piece of crap criminal. I speak clearly and fluently. I don't wear my pants with my butt out like a fool. You know, those are all personal decisions people make. Don't do nothing right, have no money, and then point the finger and say white people did this to me. To me, it's fucking stupid. And then what's the answer when someone like Trump is elected? Let's go burn down our own businesses, beat up our own fucking people. This whole idea is lunacy incarnate. And most of the people who voted for Trump are people that see this lunacy and it had to do something about it. Me personally, I couldn't believe it. I mean, a solitary word could trigger a whole classroom of what we call educated adults. When we should be able to have hard conversations about hard points without getting all up in our feelings, as they say, and whinge at each other, and then what? Look at Milo Yiannopoulos and just talking to people. Look what happened at Berkeley. It lit the whole fucking school on fire.
Yeah, I mean, I went when he was here. I went and like listened to him speak and like was interested in what he had to say. And for me personally, like the way in which he presents himself is like he's using banter, he's using negativity in order to spread his message, and that's just like not what I believe in. Like I don't think you should be able to like portray a negative message in just in order to be heard. Like
once again, I hate to be this gentleman, but it occurred to me that there's some negative things in our society we had to have a chat about. And Mr. Yiannopoulos was saying, look, our freedom of speech that I enjoy, I don't know if you enjoy, I enjoy my freedom of speech. We can communicate ideas to each other freely, you know?
But I think there's a very fine line between free speech and hate speech. And hate speech is illegal.
Free speech is just because you know what you say to me, right? You have the right to say that. I don't want your right to tell me something negative. You can call me a piece of trash, whatever you feel like. I might even get upset about you even at you. But do I want your right to say things to me, or for people to commit thought crimes? You're right. There's a very thin line there between free speech and 1984, where we waking up, and you want to talk about real speech every day you wake up. It's hatred.
But I don't think that promotes like a kind and progressive society.
There is no such thing. Why do you think Rome crumbled? It was the biggest civilization on the planet Earth.
Just because it's a big civilization doesn't mean it's successful.
In the great words of Julius Caesar, leniency breeds contempt. That's just the way it is. You know why criminals act brazenly nowadays? They're not afraid of death. It's that simple. Humans are basic. We're animal creatures. Basic. Science tells us that we're born of evolution. It's our evolutionary track to hurt, kill, destroy, and maim to gain forward for you and yours.
But I think that like education and like people who have access to that and people who have access to like free thought and like believe in the society that doesn't happen.
I believe in that wholeheartedly. That's why I do fight for the rights for people. For people to say whatever they dang hell will. Because in these societies where we just hear cool speech, it's very easy to go, well, this idea you're having now is hate speech.
Tell the world what
do you want to go
here.
to jail? Or, it's not right. It's un-American. To me, it's the opposite of what we're all talking about here, because both left, right, middle all agree on one thing. We like our freedoms. Quite where they are.
But I also think that like freedom of speech doesn't allow for someone to hate on a specific society and like breed hate. For like Milo, for example, he was saying how Muslims are always terrorists and Muslims are like a group of people who shouldn't be allowed in the United States, and Muslims are dirty, and I don't think that that's okay, and I think that like him saying that that's just free speech is just an excuse for him to like spew racist ideology.
I hate to say this, but Muslims and Arabs are two different things. There's people that are Arab that do not believe in Muhammad, and they eat bacon and drink alcohol at the drop of a hat. Muslim is a religious ideology, just like Christianity. Statistically, you realize that the majority of terrorist attacks done in the world
are Christian.
No.
Yes.
Name 3 right off the top of your head. Just this year, because I got 5 on top of my head. All perpetrated. All Muslim.
This year, all Muslim.
Okay, Christmas Eve. Dude.
That was 2017.
Well, again, we can go back. We have to go back 15 years to find Christian terrorism. That ideology you're speaking about, Christianity, their deity goes out of his way to say love your brother and people that are different than you.
And you think Allah doesn't?
Let me go ahead and tell you about the beginning of the Quran, where Muhammad had to be kicked out of multiple places because he was what? Raiding? Read the Quran if you don't believe me.
No, I have.
He was a raider and a warlord. Jesus Christ walked around begging people not to kill each other, as were this gentleman. I'm not saying the ideology is wrong.
Jesus Christ is also an Arab.
That's all fine.
Muslim.
That points there's a fine line between Muslim and Arab. They're totally different. That's culturally appropriating, and you're saying all Muslims are Arab. That's not. There's plenty of Americans right now, like my brother Malik, who was a born and bred black American. He's Muslim as it gets. He ain't any kind of Arab. That's my whole point. Is ideologies that are important here. And with the most important ideology is the one that our country is founded on, the Constitution. The Constitution states that there is no such thing as hate speech. That is an intangible
Actually,
idea.
in the Constitution, it says hate speech.
What
and
is
it
hate?
says
What is hate speech?
Hate speech is like spewing ideologies against a person that doesn't allow for stereotypes.
What is this for? Quick question. Just like drove by and I saw like a group of people.
This is a statement piece, I guess, saying that Trump will not divide us as a nation.
You know Shia LaBeouf?
Oh.
Cannibal, Shia LaBeouf. My real point to all this, y'all, in case any of y'all was listening, is that we're all one people here. I don't care about your political ideology, ma'am. It doesn't make me any difference because we're all in the same pot. If this blows up, I'm blowing up, you're blowing up, we're all blowing up together.
Well, I don't know about that, man. I mean,
what I mean by blowing up is if we run out of food, it's a town problem, not a me problem, right? So we have to work together to survive. That's pretty basic. That's what America's about, is working together, achieving goals.
I don't think America is in survival mode. Such as third world countries like Syria.
Not yet, at least. Well, hopefully.
Well, let me just pose a hypothetical here. If a
but
foreign
that's just
force,
the thing, it's a hypothetical.
Well, but if a foreign force marched here in this town, this town,
there's literally a 3% probability that any country in the world would invade the United States because of the size of its military and its resources and its allies.
Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe that you just might be onto something there. Maybe having deterrence from enemies keeps enemies out of your home.
But it also increases the number of enemies you have.
Well, who's invaded here in the last ever? Mexico once? Yeah, that's because we worked together as a people, like in World War II. The reason why we beat the Germans is because we worked together and manufactured pretty good equipment real quick. Not like the Germans who manufactured really good equipment very slowly because they weren't pulling together. They were fighting, conquering, spread out. That's what we had to our advantage, is we worked together quickly.
Yeah, for Japanese people.
You know, it's very important we work together as a people. Instead of letting silly things like Donald Trump, who's, again, for me, a political puppet, divide us into... We're really arguing about things that aren't even tangible, nor matter at the very moment. Can I say exactly what those things are? Not per se, because everyone's priorities differ.
I feel like in a sense though, like Donald Trump has like brought people to start working together, like in certain areas. Like I'm sure not in the way that he intended to in some instances, but like, you know, like women's rights, you know, like
for example, there was a ginormous march that was bigger than the inauguration that marched in Washington D.C. the day after the election.
Yeah,
that brought together hundreds of thousands of women in order to protest what he believes and what he represents for.
Well, that excludes part of the population, what happens to be male. See, what I'm trying to point out, what I'm trying to point out, my dear friends, is that the former rhetoric that was being passed around between Americans was putting us at odds, because whether I realized it or you realized it or anyone else realized it,
Americans unite with Trump, President's Day. Make it happen.
Fighting each other, which we're doing right now. That's why I'm here personally. It's like
That's why we need education in New Mexico.
But I think partly what you're saying is like, you're literally representing this point. This is saying he will not divide us, and you're here dividing us.
I'm not dividing
anything. We're here to say,
anything.
like, this isn't going to divide us, and that we want to be a cohesive people, yet you're the one creating barriers.
I'm only playing devil's advocate.
Technically, he is causing barriers because at the border there are Mexicans being illegally signing up their rights as citizens, as residents. Everything like that's going on at the border right now. You guys know about that? Mexicans have been, they tell them that so that they can get back to the United States, they make them sign a paper. And then, giving up their residency and their citizenship.
Which has been done for thousands of years.
Which has actually been brought up more recently because it's been happening more at the border.
Yeah, you know, maybe I'm, how do you say, crass? But I don't feel comfortable with letting any old person into my country. It scares me because I know how espionage works.
Well, with that too, I mean,
it's real easy for me to.
How many of us can say that we're natural-born Americans? The only ones that we can say here is Native Americans.
Well, we're sovereign-born Americans. We're a nationality.
America is
We're not a race.
literally a
Built up off
nation
of immigrants.
founded on
Immigrants, legal immigration. Yeah.
You think that the British coming to the United States was legal immigration when they murdered thousands of Native Americans
No, that's
in order
different-
to conquer their land? Because that's illegal immigration.
That's not immigration. That's war. That's simple.
Oh, that's different.
That's conquering.
That's okay. So if the Mexicans were to come here and start a war and conquer our country, that's okay?
Well, it's war. Where it's okay, not okay, it is war. There's no debating that. When a human gets a wild hair up their ass to kill things, that's just what happens.
Doesn't
Rome
make
did
it
it.
right though.
Well, it never said it did. It's what happens. That's all there is to it. I mean, does it not happen? Or war is what it is.
Where are you coming out about immigration right now?
What I'm doing simply is playing devil's advocate. That's from what it is. These aren't even particularly my ideas, but I just felt as though somebody should at least point out that though Trump is wrong on lots of things, he has good ideas on other things.
Well, his stances on the TPP are great, but his stances on education are terrible.
Awful.
I mean, the fact that he's shrinking the biggest national monument in the continental U.S. is ridiculous. I mean, as somebody who studies vertebrate paleontology, part of what making America great again should be is making us a very scientific nation, but he's not. He's making us less educated. Exactly.
Where'd you get that sweater?
I like your shirt, by the way. My parents met at a Dead concert in Sacramento. Yeah. But yeah, he shouldn't be defunding education. Also, he shouldn't make my science one that is not priority. He's made paleontology, which is something the United States used to be at the forefront of. The American Museum, the Smithsonian, the Field Museum used to be the best in the world. And now we're shadowed by even the Chinese museums, the British Museum, the Berlin Museum.
I agree.
And it's kind of disgusting. We have the most comprehensive fossil beds in the United States from the early years, 2.1 billion years, all the way up to the Eocene and the Oligocene. But we can't excavate it, and they destroy it for oil reserves? That's ridiculous.
That is wrong. That's why I'm not a conservative, because I don't think that's cool. I think we should be working on science.
But the part you do agree with is that building the oil pipes increases our economy, and that's what you agree with. Because
there's other ways of
There's other ways of increasing the economy. One of those ways is illegal immigration. The reason Albuquerque is so cheap, and the reason why the food here fucking rocks, is because we have cheap labor. This city would not survive. This is a city of the people. That's why so many immigrants come. Not even just from Mexico, but from the Middle East, from China, from Cuba, from Vietnam, because it's cheap here, because this is the only major city in the U.S. where people can come and be together. It's really the people's city. If you go to Denver, if you go to Los Angeles, if you go to Salt Lake, it's not like that. Well, Albuquerque is like that because this is a city of the people. It's a city of immigrants, and that's why it's got such a close-knit community. That's why everybody here is so cool. And that's the problem with illegal immigration, trying to deport everybody, is because it's just going to ruin the whole aura of that. And a lot of conservatives, they're afraid of the government rising up, right? So why are they letting the government actually go into people's homes and take people away?
Yeah,
that's what conservatives should be afraid of. Why is Alex Jones the friend of Donald Trump when Donald Trump essentially wants to create martial law by deporting 11 million people that makes the country cheap and affordable?
But you were also just saying how you don't want illegal immigrants in our country because it reduces your opportunity.
Well, yeah, but legal immigrants, people that come here, do paperwork, law-abiding citizens, they're fine with me. I have no problem with people coming from somewhere else, wanting to be here, living here, and living life here.
So what's the difference between an illegal immigrant and a legal immigrant? Illegal immigrants want to come here and they want to make money. They are giving back money to our community. They're having children who are going to school, who are getting an education, who are becoming scientists and becoming teachers and giving back to the community. No one would purposely ever try to come to the United States to destroy the United States because that's their ultimate goal.
I'm just saying it's a fact of legality, friends. I can't drive my car without a license now, can I? I cannot just do whatever random drug I want on the street.
Well, you can as long as you don't get caught.
A cop will
yeah, you get busted.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It was like you were saying like a little while ago.
But the difference between doing drugs and wanting to come to a country to better their lives are very, very different things.
To me, it's all a question of legality. It's all about the rules. We all have to follow rules. That's a social contract. I follow rules, you follow rules, we all follow rules. You can't have someone starting a relationship off here breaking the rules.
What if the rules
It's a victimless
Well,
crime.
Now if we
Hold on,
change
hold
the
on.
rules,
Hey, I mean, the thing is with that is
The
with
government,
immigrants, they have
we allow.
to get citizenship, they have to jump through so many hoops. My uncle, he's a citizen now because he took the test and he went through the whole thing. It didn't just
It
pop
takes
out
most
in
people
one day. It
7
popped
years to
out
become a
after
legal
after
resident.
3 years of working here.
well, it's
like
After
you were
3 years
saying
of
earlier,
working,
you were
that's
saying,
whenever he was able to find out and get his citizenship, get a lawyer, do all the stuff that he had to do. I mean, the thing is
That's what I
it's not
prefer.
easy. It's not easy. That's the point. What I'm trying to get at is it's not easy.
It's supposed
So
to be.
whenever us immigrants, whenever we did come here, because I was an illegal immigrant, I'm Mexican. Do I sound Mexican? No. I'm a citizen now. And the thing is we had to jump through so many hoops to become a citizen. It seemed ridiculous. Some Mexicans, we lost the hope of becoming citizens, so we work. So if we get deported, we just come back. I mean, it's not that it may seem bad to you guys, but we work. It's not like we're criminals bringing drugs like that puto says.
But you gotta look at it from both sides.
But hey, hold up. Are you still proud of your heritage, though?
Fuck yeah, I'm
Yeah.
proud
Are
of my
you still proud
heritage.
of being Mexican? Because I am.
I'm proud
from
of
the
that.
U.S.
I think
But I'm
that's
proud
like,
to be it
I
as
think
well.
that's like the best
Exactly.
part of being a
I mean,
US
you
Why
were
can't we
saying
be proud of
earlier-
being both?
You were saying earlier, it doesn't like matter where you're from. Like if you're born in the ghetto, you know those schools underfunded. You know compared to the schools in the valley, you know where they have good funding, better teachers. Like you said, it's up to you to get to where you want to be
But why,
to build
but
yourself.
why can't these
But
citizens from
it's-
Mexico want to
Yeah,
better their
it's
lives
just
and
because
come
you're
to
born
the
in
United
Mexico doesn't mean
States?
you're not.
The American dream should be
born there.
exclusive to Americans. It should be a worldwide ideal that people strive to become it. That's what makes America great,
Exactly.
is
For me,
having
friends,
being a place where people can come from nothing and be amazing, be rich. And that's the
why we
whole
all
point.
come. I mean, honestly.
Well, the thing
Exactly.
is,
That's why
guys,
people come
all
here,
the
and
way
that's why
around
people are leaving
is that-
faster than they're coming in, because that no longer exists in America.
Well, and for some people, that's the idea. See, that's my whole point, is that we're being driven apart by opposing ideologies that in the end are not as important as the overarching, because we gotta remember who the true enemy is. And that's the rich guy. He didn't give a fuck about you, me, anybody else. Mexican, black,
But
white,
he's who you
Asian.
voted for.
I didn't vote for anybody, ma'am.
But
I
he's
don't
the one
believe.
you're supporting.
No, I am simply playing devil's advocate once
So
more.
then your arguments are unfair then, because you're just stating, you're just choosing what sounds good at the
Don't-
moment.
don't
and
we
you're
all-
changing it around to the second later.
Right.
Don't we all though?
I think I pride myself on knowing what my standards are and knowing what I believe in and representing those whenever I can.
Like I appreciate you bringing arguments forward and like having us conversate. Like that's really great. I appreciate it. Like you know you're doing a good job. Like
That's the whole point about not letting us divide each other. Is having a
conversations.
and having a dialogue. That's what it's all about.
Because that's
That's
what
what
I'm
should
concerned
be.
about as a citizen. Because I'm very concerned we all kill each other. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm standing here right now. Is because I'd rather talk to my brethren before we end up at arms.
And where's
Remember the
our,
Civil War?
where's
We're right there.
Where's Shiloh, dude?
This is the thing. Where is Shia?
Yeah,
Because I want to
he's
ask
the-
him too.
He's the one who started this process.
I wanna smoke weed with him.
He's not a leader. He's just the
He-
platform.
well,
Too much weed.
He started this, and he should just help
I
us.
think his point is to open this dialogue. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if he's
That's
here
the
or
whole
not.
point of this place.
And like we have no idea
Add
how
a
many people are
conversation.
watching us having this conversation.
I've been watching
right
you
now.
since I've been born,
Exactly.
dude.
That's why I'm here. Because I give a fuck about my people. I am a genuine patriot. I take a bullet for you. You know why? Because that's what my ancestors did. And that's what's right. Period. And I'm not going to argue with nobody about where you're from, this, that, and the other. If you're down to die on this rock, then there it is. But if you're going to come over here, anybody, I don't give a fuck if you're from England, and you're going to come over here, you're going to steal, and you're going to cheat, and you're going to sell drugs, then you're an enemy of mine. You're not a friend. American or anybody else. You're not cool to poison my community with drugs. You're not cool to break the laws.
With that being said, I know more drug dealers that are citizens that aren't citizens.
That's bad.
That's
They need to
true.
be fucking locked up. It's that
Right,
simple.
but
You can't
why
sell
is
meth
there
to your brother and say, let's make America
But
great.
why do you have the
So why not
stereotype
control
that
them more
Mexicans
instead of
are the ones
immigrants?
who are dealing with drugs? Like Mexicans are the
Hold
ones.
on. You misinterpreted me. Most the
Are we
opium-
getting blamed for it?
Well, hold on. Most of the opium is from Afghanistan. Like I think it's like 78% of it. So the real convenient thing about all of it is that it's easy to traffic drugs from Central and South America up through Mexico to America. It's that simple. Same thing happens on harbor towns. Same thing. That's why Miami is built the way it is. It's all drug trade. And that's what needs
Yeah,
to
and that's
stop.
partly because like the U.S. has created a border.
Yes.
You know how you stop the drug trade. You stop the war on drugs. You do what the Canadians have. People aren't going to stop using drugs. People have been using drugs. Even animals use drugs. Primates use drugs. People aren't going to stop. The only thing we can stop is we got to stop regulating it. We got to stop like putting people in jail because of an addiction. We got to start treating that addiction. We got to exactly.
Well, there's some people in this world that they cook up bad meth and laugh about it.
Yeah,
They're like a bunch of idiots are going to smoke this and die.
It's racist to point to one certain group
I-
of people and say
exactly.
that they are
I
the
thought I
same.
just pointed out.
Hold
Do
on,
it again.
with this being said, like I'm not saying this out of a racist thing or anything like that. All I'm saying is I know more white drug dealers than I do any Mexican, black,
too.
You go
or
to
anybody.
the Cueva, that's where you get all the cocaine.
Oh yeah.
It depends on the drug.
You don't get that shit in the war zone. You only find weed in the war
People
zone.
make their own
meth.
heroin.
Meth.
That's been around for a long time. I know so many heroin places up in where I live. It's ridiculous. I live in Meadow Lake, Los Lunas.
And that's what we should be debating about. Is how the fuck do we get rid of these drug dealers? How the fuck do we get rid of these
Cops
toxic
don't even
people?
go into Meadow Lake, so how the fuck can they shut them down if the cops are too much pussies to go shut them down?
Or the fact that we don't fund our police department here and we don't have educated people as our police. We don't have people that care about the community. We just have a bunch of our cops. At one point or another, they're all from the fucking war zone. I bet you half of them fucking used to sell drugs. They're just doing that because that's a good job to get if you don't go to college. You wanna get better fucking people in the police force? Educate them. Require a bachelor's degree. Or something like that, and make college fucking affordable. Nobody should have to starve to
Nobody
death to
wants
go
to
to
be a
fucking
cop.
college.
It goes back to like what you're saying, like America being, New Mexico is in general being cheaper because of immigrants and labor. It's lower. We can put more money into education and such. But
Exactly.
we're definitely not perfect, but I definitely think a lot of people are trying to better themselves. Even if you're born in the ghetto, you were born in Mexico, you were born in Afghanistan.
Well, that's my whole thing. I grew up in foster care, and I have a GED. I don't have a high school diploma. I graduated when I was 16, and now I'm published in a peer-reviewed journal, and I spent the last year going to 9 states and 4 countries digging up dinosaurs. And so if somebody can do that, anybody can do anything. I mean, I don't have a cent to my name. I have student loans, and I wish I didn't, but I understand where immigrants are coming from, because you have to really want it. And people that are willing to trek across the desert and jump over to Rio Grande have the same kind of drive that'll let them do amazing things, like become engineers or become social workers or become productive members of society. And we need people with that kind of motivation instead of lazy Americans that don't care.
Yeah, I think what you were representing is money, and I want to point out that illegal immigrants contribute over $5 million to the United States.
I think they can contribute several trillion. It's about the law.
That's because we're the backbone of this
So
country.
are you
dude.
saying that you are a law-abiding citizen in every aspect?
Well, ma'am, as much as I can be. Now, I'm not saying all laws are fair, but the laws should still be upheld.
So you think that
Are you telling me that you never go over the speed limit by even 2, because even that's breaking the law?
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Again,
thing is I speed. I go
Never
90. I
smoked
came
weed,
90 down the road.
No, see, that's not what I'm driving at. I'm driving at that we have to pull laws. I can't just kill people and go and skate on it.
no
Do you
one's
really
saying-
need a
no
law
one's
to
saying
tell you
that-
talking about the
doing something
social
bad? I mean,
Some people
don't
do.
be an asshole. Seriously.
Well, some people do need that deterrent from being like that, because there's people that aren't like you and I, okay, that do seek to hurt people. They wake up, I got a new gun, who am I going to hurt with? That's how some people wake up and think.
At the end of the day, if somebody's going to kill somebody, a law isn't going to stop them. They're just going to do
I
it.
got a gun. I have a family to feed. I can't find work. I need to get something for my kids so that they can eat. They're going to turn to crime. There's no work here, so that's what people turn to.
That's a problem we need to address as a people.
No, the only thing that we really need is jobs in this country. If we could put
We don't
more
need jobs,
in
we
this-
need careers. Because there's a lot of jobs, but they're all at fucking McDonald's.
We
Exactly.
need
That's
educated
great.
people
We do.
who are capable of.
And that's why it's so
jobs.
sad that our education's going to take a big hit, in these next 4 years.
Exactly. It's a fucking shame is what it is.
Well, bottom line is that we're all Americans here, and I don't hate anybody.
It doesn't matter if you're American. It's just
We're all human beings. We're all Homo sapiens
We barely
sapiens.
accepted gays, dude. We cannot even accept each other now, dude.
I-
That's the problem I hate on this country, dude. I love this country, but we can't fucking love each other, dude. Tú eres hermano. You're from Mexico, dude. I have Mexican blood. My parents are Mexican, dude. Mexico, dude.
So what do you tell someone from the deep south? Like my father.
About
About trying to explain trying to explain like a whole like human rights things, immigration to some people. Plum don't make no damn sense. It just plum like people like me. Plum don't make no sense. I can't just waltz about the world and hang out where I want to. There's a thing called sovereignty. We have people, human beings as a species. We've been doing this for tens of thousands of years, right, mate?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what the fuck.
250,000 years people have been roaming the earth.
But why did we form nations?
We formed nations because of the adoption of agriculture.
We have different
Exactly.
interests.
To protect land, food, and each other. That's basic human drives. Shelter, food, reproduction.
But is keeping people out and limiting education and defunding like so many different programs which support people like Planned Parenthood, is that protecting our people? Is that protecting our nation from other nations? No, it's not.
But reinforcing the border. Yeah.
Why would we?
Wait, no, it's not.
But hey, I came from the border. I came from the border. I have my own vehicle. I work. So I pay taxes. I got a tax income.
Then why did China build a wall?
Because I know they fucking had people in there. They killed people and put them on the wall. What the
Ming
fuck?
Dynasty was racist.
I wonder what I'm saying that they were in survival mode.
How many fucking dead bodies is that the
We shouldn't be in survival
Let's just
mode.
throw a technical flag here. The Emperor of China woke up and said, I don't like the... Huh?
Do you know what year that was?
Not off the top of my head.
Right,
I mean,
but
I'm
that
not
was a
living
time in
encyclopedia.
which survival mode was like the thing.
This is
where
peace.
countries were attacking.
It also failed. The
other
Mongols
countries
ended
all
up
the-
invading and conquering
It literally
China.
failed.
Exactly.
And,
The whole point of the wall wasn't to
my
keep people out, is to
It's
unify the
in-
different dynasties in China.
Humans
That was the
do
whole
that.
point.
What is it called?
It was to unify them under a similar flag and a similar project.
11 billion
Mongols grew up
from the country.
China.
Most of them came legally.
Yeah.
Most of them came
It's
legally.
So my question is,
They're
are people just going to
working
sit
with
here, or are we going to do something interesting? Because I feel like spreading the word of the good Lord Keck until the sun goes down, but
I think I like your idea a lot better.
can we just turn this into a massive praise
Let's
Keck session?
dance, y'all. Y'all wanna dance?
I know Pole is watching this right now. Pole, you're watching this. Praise Keck. Praise be to Keck. Praise be to Keck.
Yeah. But it's hearing the word.
I felt insulted right there for a minute.
Don't be
Fortify the wall.
I'm not
Hey
a
man,
praise
don't be
Keck.
insulted.
I
That's
don't
just
even
my
know what's going
opinion.
on.
You don't have to like it.
Kyle think
There
you're
you go.
racist.
Oh, you will?
Let's hear that. Like, you know, be like, oh shit, yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, get it. Come on, y'all. He will not fight us.
Praise Keck! Praise him! Praise Keck! Turn it up. Here.
I can't.
Put it right by the speaker.
Yeah. And
So do I. Thinking of any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. I gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. As make you cry. Just stop. I'm gonna tell a lie. But I figured I'd probably get prosecuted.
you know what? That is inappropriate. But
Get some pretty princess.
yo, again, that was.
Okay, put on All-Star next.
Oh,
You gotta
got
put
you.
on All-Star.
Oh, of course. That was a good Mr. Rodgers production, y'all.
Probably a lot.